Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be reviewing NXT Deadline. I know, me reviewing an NXT show? I know, shocking, right? Well, I guess if you guys saw my SmackDown stream, but if anyone did not see my SmackDown stream, here in Australia, we have our very own WWE channel. And we can now watch pay-per-views for free. We don't have to pay for anything. And I think that is a good thing. It saves a lot of money. And it also saves my parents a lot of money. So they don't have to friggin' waste cash on like the network and pay-per-views. So we don't have to pay for anything. I think this is great. I think it's great. Apparently we had 2 dark matches at NXT Deadline, because I'm using Wikipedia to look at this. But I'm not going to talk about those dark matches, because who cares about dark matches? Who cares about dark matches? We're here to talk about the main show. Anyway, the opening match was the Women's Iron Survivor. It was a 25-minute period. I mean, I liked the concept. The concept sounded really fun and really interesting. This is kind of the main reason why I wanted to watch it, you know, just to see what this Iron Survivor was going to be like. It was pretty good. The women's one was Roxanne, Perez, Zoe Stark, Cora Jade, Kiana James, and Indy Hartwell. I was hoping for either Cora or Indy to win, which neither of them won, because, of course, you know, my favorites never win anything these days. And, look, this was fine. I didn't mind this match. It was pretty fun. Even though I'm not a big fan of Zoe Stark and Kiana James, I think Kiana looked quite impressive. I think Kiana looked pretty impressive. She did some pretty impressive moves. But in the end, the obvious and most predictable outcome was basically in this matchup here. It was Roxanne Perez winning this match. This is the only thing that really let it down to me. Just having the obvious winner that everybody knew was going to win, to me kind of ruined the excitement of the match. I felt like, it's not often I'd say this, but I enjoyed the men's one way more than the women's. Because the men's one was super close and anybody could win. The women's one just felt like Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade were like the real only 2 logical people that could win. Kiana James isn't ready. Zoe Stark is clearly is very unworthy. Don't even know why she was even in the match. And Indy Hartwell is getting called up to the main roster potentially. I mean, why was Kiana James even in this if she was not even going to get a single pinfall? But you know, Shawn Michaels said that they picked out the people that they felt were the most deserving to be in the match. And I'm sorry, I don't think Kiana James was really well deserving, in my personal opinion. But, you know, that is really the only thing that really hurt this match to me, is that, you know, we all knew Roxanne was gonna win. Like, we all knew Roxanne was gonna win the match. Like, even when the match was announced, like, the moment the match was made, everybody knew Roxanne was going to win. And that's what killed the match for me. Especially when Roxanne kept losing and she was, like, getting eliminated and get put into the box, and she was behind with 0 points. I just said to myself, yeah, she's obviously going to make the comeback and get the win. Because, you know, that was the thing that, you know, like, because she's the underdog babyface, you know what I mean? She's the underdog babyface. She was going to make the ultimate underdog comeback and win. I mean, I get it. It's a good babyface story, but, you know, I'm sorry, it was just too predictable. We knew she was winning from the start. From the moment this match was made, it was very obvious she was going to win. You know, if Indy Hartwell won, it would have been way more exciting, and possibly, you know, no one would have expected her to win. And I felt she should have won after her little segment with Mandy Rose. But, you know, Roxanne's basically the future of WWE. She's being planted as the face of NXT. She's gonna be the woman that ends Mandy Rose's title reign, so I guess you gotta just pull the trigger now while you get there. But my main worry is that Roxanne is gonna get shoved down the fans' throats. You know, people may like her now, but in due time, just like everybody else, the crowd is going to turn. That's the main thing I worry about when it comes to Roxanne. You know, the fans may like her now, but sooner rather than later, fans will start turning on her. Just like with Mandy Rose, everybody loved the Toxic Attraction when that first started, and then everybody started turning on Toxic Attraction because they were just champions for way too long. They were trying too hard to be like a woman's bloodline, you know? So people are now sick of Mandy Rose. People are not giving Mandy Rose her flowers, not giving her respect. They think she's just another Roman Reigns of the NXT Women's Division. You know what I mean? It's gonna happen to Roxanne. And I don't care how lovable she is. Fans will turn on even the most lovable superstars. Mark my words. And I'll happily admit if I'm wrong if it doesn't happen. But I feel Roxanne is going to eventually end up like Mandy Rose. Everyone may love her now, but in due time, fans will get sick of her. Because, you know, fans get sick of everybody. Fans get sick of everybody after a while. We had Isla Dawn take on Alba Fire. I really wanted Alba Fire to win this, but, you know, because I love Alba Fire. She's so good. But I kind of felt Isla Dawn winning this made sense, because it was like her first legitimate pay-per-view, and it was like her first big match. So it made sense. But it wasn't a clean loss. Alba kind of lost via a dirty tactic. And Isla Dawn is now apparently like another. I guess her character is kind of creepy and weird. She's got this kind of. Like some of the antics she did reminded me of what Alexa Bliss used to do. But it works for Isla Dawn, in my opinion. And here's why. Here's why I think it works for Isla Dawn. Because clearly she's been doing this shit since NXT UK. I don't watch NXT UK. I'm just assuming she's been doing this stuff even in NXT UK. Isla Dawn is actually, you know, scary. She actually plays that role very well. She's very scary. She's very intimidating. She comes off intimidating. Alexa Bliss, she was trying to be scary. She was trying to be supernatural. It just didn't feel natural when it was Alexa Bliss. With Isla Dawn, I think it comes off more natural for Isla Dawn. I just personally think it comes off way better if it's Isla Dawn because it actually fits her. The character actually fits her. But when it came to Alexa Bliss, no. I just didn't buy it. I just didn't buy Alexa Bliss as a scary, intimidating woman. Especially with the Bray Wyatt stuff. So, yeah, that's why I actually don't mind Isla Dawn doing it, because I think it actually works better for Isla Dawn. Yeah, so Isla got the win, as I kind of expected. I kind of expected it much, because, you know, I kind of hope Alba Fire gets called up to the main roster. And for God's sake, put her on SmackDown, because SmackDown bloody needs women badly. And same thing with Indy Hartwell too. Move Indy and Alba both to SmackDown, because SmackDown right now badly needs saving from the evil torturers known as Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, and Raquel. Jesus. So then after that match, we had the New Day take on Pretty Shitty, as I like to call them, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. I'm not a fan of these guys. Patrick, you barely watch NXT. How do you not like these guys? It's called I watch small clips on the internet. It's called YouTubing, ladies and gentlemen. It's called YouTubing, ladies and gentlemen, and I watch some clips on YouTube, and I'm not impressed by Pretty Deadly, or Pretty Shitty, as I like to call them. I mean, the match was pretty good. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the match, so I guess they're talented. They're talented enough, despite they look like a bunch of poofs. They look like a bunch of poofs, but they're decently not too bad. But we get the New Day winning the match. And I see people on the internet upset that the New Day winning the NXT Tag Team Championships. At least it's not the freaking Usos. You know, it's been a while since the New Day have been Tag Team Champions. Like, a couple of years. It's been a couple of years since New Day were Tag Team Champions. Give them a break. And they're Triple Crown Tag Team Champions. This is the only reason why they had them win, to make history, becoming Triple Crown Tag Team Champions. At least it's better than the freaking Usos going down to NXT and being like, the Bloodline will stay in the NXT Tag Team titles to our collection. You know, at least the Usos aren't going to add them to their collection now. I'm perfectly fine with the New Day having them. But Patrick, you've said many times before that you don't like main roster people coming down to NXT and beating the NXT wrestlers. You were upset Natalya beat Cora Jade, and you're also upset AJ Styles beat Grayson Waller. That you're being a hypocrite, man. You're being a hypocrite. Yeah, I'll admit it. I'll admit I didn't like AJ Styles beating Grayson Waller and Natalya beating Cora Jade. But as I said, it's the New Day. They only won them to become Grand Slam champions. It's the only reason why New Day won. What did Natalya gain from beating Cora Jade? Nothing. What did AJ Styles gain from beating Grayson Waller? Nothing. I feel that's different. Pointless wins that do nothing for other people is different. The New Day, to me, they only won them just for the Triple Crown. They're probably not going to hold them for very long. That's how I look at it anyway. Here we get the men's Iron Survivor, Grayson Waller, Carmelo Hayes, JD McDouchebag, Joe Gacy, and Axiom. I picked my boy, Grayson Waller, to win this match, but I would have been perfectly fine with Joe Gacy. I'm not a fan of JD McDouchebag, and Carmelo Hayes. I know a lot of people like this guy, but I really don't get the appeal. I don't get the appeal of him. Sure, he's super talented. He's got a bright future. I understand that. And here's the thing. I'm a respectable guy. I can see Carmelo is a talented wrestler. But does that mean I have to like him? Absolutely not. And that's the thing I really hate about wrestling fans. I hate when you say you're not a fan of someone, they take it so offensively. They're so offended that someone just doesn't like your favorite wrestler. You know? If people don't like Grayson Waller, I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't complain that people don't like Grayson Waller. I only didn't like people complaining. I just didn't like people hating Grayson Waller just because what he did to Johnny Gargano. That was all I didn't like. But overall, if people don't like him, I don't care. You don't have to like him. I don't have to like Carmelo Hayes. I can say he's a great talent. I can say he's a great wrestler, and I think he's got a lot of potential. But that doesn't mean I have to put my hat on and become a Carmelo Hayes fan. I just want people to understand that. You don't have to like someone, but you can acknowledge their talent. And I do think Carmelo Hayes is a talented wrestler, but I just do not see what's so special about him. He is a great talent. He's got a great future. JD McDouchebag is JD McDouchebag. I'm just not a fan of him at all. He's boring. He brings nothing to the table. Joe Gacy, I've always been a fan of him. I think he's got a lot of talent. People don't like him because he's a bootleg Bray Wyatt. You know, honestly, he's nothing like Bray Wyatt. The Schism character is nothing like the Wyatt family. And honestly, Joe Gacy has one advantage over Bray Wyatt and his Wyatt family. He actually got a female added to his faction, unlike Bray Wyatt. And Axiom, who is basically a kid under a mask, you know, he was pretty cool, I guess. But the surprise factor here is that Grayson Waller picked up the victory and he won the Iron Survivor. Now this is what I like to see. Unpredictable outcome. Everyone kept saying Carmelo Hayes was going to win. This is excellent. Having someone that the fans did not expect to win is a good thing. This is what I wanted in the Women's Iron Survivor. Someone that the crowd didn't expect to win end up winning. But if you go with the predictable winner, then people are like, oh, well, we expected that. So I'm actually very glad Grayson Waller won this match. I didn't think he was, but I was super happy that he was. And I hope he goes on and defeats Bron Breakker. I don't think he will, but I hope he does. Then we had Bron Breakker take on Apollo Crews. I'm not a real fan of this new version of Apollo Crews. I liked the Nigerian Prince better. But overall, Bron Breakker retained, and Grayson Waller attacked him afterwards. I'm hoping Grayson Waller is the guy that dethrones Bron Breakker. I'm really hoping Grayson Waller is the guy to do it. But either way, that is my NXT Deadline review. I thought it was a good show. I actually really enjoyed it. One of the big points I will give NXT Deadline is that the crowd were really into the show. They were really into it. Unlike the Raw and SmackDown crowds where they're just completely dead silent and they just don't give a shit. So that's one of the big points I can give NXT. The crowds really did enjoy the show. And I did too. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And I will see you all next time.